A dark, unknowable castle looms atop a distant mountain. Beneath it, tucked deep in a frozen valley, lies a quiet, frigid, and corrupted wood. It's home to Coolie Zombies, one of the most iconic training spots from the golden age of old-school MapleStory. This is the Forest of Dead Trees. So you've made it to Nath. It's quiet, a little chilly, and it kind of feels like you've reached something bigger. If you're here, third job advancement is probably on your mind, and odds are you're already more than halfway there. But before visiting the chief's residence, there's still some more grinding to do. And the best place for it? Yeah, it's a bit of a hike. And let's be real, you're probably too broke for the taxi. The trip starts off harmless enough. Snowy hills, cute baby yetis, some grumpy wolves who look like they hate you. As you pass a few yetis mounted by penguins who haven't yet been humiliated by Bowser, you start to feel the need to hurry along. They smash. Time for one last 7-Eleven run via Glibber. He charges like a Ticketmaster scalper, but if you forgot something, he's your last hope. Jeff, the dungeon guide, gives you one last warning before you continue. You insist you're strong enough, of course. Beyond this point, the terrain twists sharply. Jagged cliffs, monsters that seem untouched by sunlight, and a growing sense that you shouldn't linger. Most players rush through. You might catch a glimpse of some higher levels farming werewolves and lycanthropes like it's nothing. They're the pros, and you're not one of them, but you could be. Admire, get inspired, but don't hang around, or you could end up respawning in Nath real quick. Finally, the top of Wolf Territory 5, where the howling settles and everything gets quiet. You've made it. This is where the Forest of Dead Trees begins. Getting to Coolies was a rite of passage, and it's a trip you'll make many, many times. It's a reminder that this is a world you haven't quite conquered yet. This place is busy. Back in the good old days, finding a Coolies map to call your own could be a challenge. Everyone was here. From high 40s to even early 90s, this was the spot. It's one of those classic Maple maps that stayed relevant for way too long. But not in a bad way, Coolies were just that good. The mob count? Nuts. HP to XP ratio? Ideal. And because the place was so crowded, finding a party was often easier here than anywhere else. Doing it with others made the grind feel worth it. And you might even see the friends you made back in Ludi PQ graduate together here. The map design helps too. Tight platforms, fast spawn rate, and easy loops for rotating. Map 4 was the most coveted, and it was so good for splitting between a party of 3 or more. These maps worked for ranged, melee, and support. Since Coolies were undead, clerics and priests could train here using heal. It's one of the few spots where they weren't just tagging along, but actually dealing solid damage. No matter your job, if you played during the classic era, chances are you grinded out many levels here. When a Coolie Zombie dies, it stops in its tracks, releases a brittle groan, before disintegrating into sand and falling to the ground. And if you were lucky, you got a drop. But most of the time, it'd be this: Zombie's lost tooth. Training at Coolies was like becoming the Tooth Fairy. If the Tooth Fairy was some guy with a spear who chugged 400 mana elixirs an hour. To keep fueling your potion addiction, you needed to make some money back. And yeah, these little babies didn't NPC for much. A measly 65 meso. But you don't have to settle for that. You see, 100 of these teeth could be traded to Staff Sergeant Charlie in Orbis, in exchange for 500 XP and some random items. nothing of great value, but that 500 XP was pretty valuable for how easy it was to spam for higher leveled, richer players who wanted to power level their mules or new characters. This meant you would hoard those teeth as much as you could and list them up in the free market for some fat meso sacks. Beyond the teeth, there were plenty of other drops you'd be happy to get from Coolies, namely the weapon drops, but any item that wouldn't sell to a player would sell to an NPC for a respectable boost in income. Between the teeth and other loot drops, you could get top-notch XP and save up a good amount of currency during your stay here. That's one of the reasons it stayed relevant for higher levels too. At the speed of level 80 or 90 would kill them, it was like free money. While training here, you had plenty of time to take in the sights. And man, did that background slap! The ominous red sky with black clouds, the dark, imposing mountains in the distance. And that castle, who built it? Why is it there? Are they judging me? Of course, we'd later learn it was Von Leon's castle, but back then it was a total mystery. No context, no storyline, just a spooky castle, and that made it even cooler. Beyond these haunted woods lies a long abandoned mine that guards a deep, dark secret. The bowels of the snowy mountain opened into what felt like the entrance to hell. Only pros came down here, or noobs with a death wish. Down here, the ancient devil tree, Zakum, sleeps. It's also home to one of the most stressful jump quests ever, but let's not go there right now. The Forest of Dead Trees was like a section of road where you could just turn on cruise control and ride that highway all the way to Third Job and beyond. The dark atmosphere that transitioned perfectly from the cozy town of Nath, the design of the maps, and the excellent value in both XP and meso, along with the long journey back every time you repot, all helped to make this place unforgettable. Personally, I spent a lot of time here. Friends made partying here would last me a long time, and the memory of training here lives rent-free in my head to this day. If you spent your fair share of time at Coolies, I'd love to hear what your favorite memories are about this place. And of course, if you made it this far, I ought to do the YouTube thing and ask you to drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time,